Today's presentation, we're excited to hear from Mike Stagg about dog bite prevention. This is one of those funny things. They come and go, where we will have claims about dog bites, workers' compensation claims. Sometimes our dogs will bite other people as well, and we get a liability claim on those things. And so this is something that comes and goes. We haven't had a huge amount of those in recent years, but this kind of came back through the rotation again. We thought this was an important subject because that's a pretty traumatic event, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, it really can be. It's scary. So sometimes, when these dogs come out and you don't know what to do, how to handle it, especially if you've never dealt with something like that before. So hopefully what we talk about today will just give you a little bit of ammunition, no pun intended, right? To take care of these situations so they become less likely to affect you. So yeah, I mean, it's like Jason said, here at the Trust, I mean, there's really not, we really don't see a lot of these. So you may be asking, why are we even talking about this? Why are we looking at, dog bites and thinking about it? Well, because like in the grand scheme of things, it's a big problem, right? According to the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, 70 million dogs in the US are registered, right? And there's probably a lot more than that. That are just out there or unregistered or whatever it is. And 4.7 million people are bitten yearly in the United States. I mean, that's a lot of dog bites. 800,000 of those need some kind of medical attention, and 20 to 30 of them actually become fatal. Whether that's because of an infection afterwards or the severity of the bite or whatever it is. And now here at the Trust, what do we see? We see roughly 25 to 30 a year, which number one tells us that either we're doing a really good job at avoiding these dog bites because it is a problem nationwide, or we are getting extremely lucky that we're not having to deal with a lot of this. So let's talk about some ways that we can, make sure that we can stay away from the dogs, because all dogs can bite, right? It's a big problem. Just because your dog is nice, or just because it's a little dog, and you don't think it's going to bite, okay, it still can bite. And that's one of the things that we want to reiterate here, is that just because the owner says, he's a nice boy, he doesn't bite, he might lick you to death, but he's not going to bite you. Okay. Just because the owner says that, or just because you know this dog, you've seen this dog before, and this dog has been fine with you coming into their yard and reading their meter, or you coming into their yard and spraying their pond for mosquitoes. Okay. They could still bite, even if they've been friendly before. Okay, so let's just keep that in mind as we go through this, because a lot of occupations can be affected by this. We talked about utility workers reading meters, of course, animal control workers, mosquito abatement, law enforcement, fire, EMS. You're responding to a call and you have to go into a yard, you have to go into a house to put out a fire, or to assist somebody who needs help. Okay, our housing authority folks. Okay, you have to go in, you have to do home inspections, you have to do things like that. It's a problem that all of us have to deal with. Okay, and so there's a lot of things. How many of you have friends who have dogs? You're not a dog person, you have friends who have dogs though. Okay, we are around these dogs and these animals all the time, and so it is a problem not only at work but at home as well. Not all dogs are the same. You could have one dog who's super nice, one dog who is not nice, and a dog who is super aggressive, a dog who is super protective, and then other dogs who are very submissive. The reality of it is this is the dog's turf. When you go into a home, or you go up to an area, a fenced area even, where the dog is inside, that's the dog's turf. That's not our turf. That's the dog's turf, and it will try to protect it if it needs to. And a lot of times owners, they don't help, right? Oh, don't worry. Like I said earlier, he's nice or she's nice. They'll lick you to death, but they're not going to bite you. Okay. They give you that false sense of security. The owners, they don't know how that dog is going to respond. Okay. They may say, I've seen it 100 times. This dog is fine. This dog is fine. But one thing could set that dog off, and you don't know what that is. The owner doesn't know what that is. So it's a problem that we really have to deal with. And how we deal with it is we have to understand what a dog's behavior is, right? You have to understand each of these, there's different, I guess, phases you could call them of a dog and their behavior. And we'll talk about that and what each of those phases are and how we can best identify what kind of situation this dog is in. Being aware of our situation, being aware of what's going on around us. I mean, that is a huge thing for us. Just making sure that we know what's going on and we can identify these behaviors. And then obviously being prepared and taking action when a dog is acting aggressive or a dog is going to come and bite us. So let's talk about first the dog behavior, right? As you see in this picture here, I mean, dogs have evolved from wolves, right? Our domesticated dogs are the ancestors of the wild wolf. Now, somewhere back, way back in the day, somebody domesticated wolves and they became pets. And, now we have our domesticated dogs, but they still have that mentality inside of them. They still have that little switch of being in a pack. So there's always an alpha, right? And so if there's more than one dog in this home, what's going to happen is you could have one dog who is the alpha, who is the leader of that pack of dogs. And as you can see in this picture here, you have the one dog who's here in front of this big bison, keeping its attention and not letting that bison run or go away. But then you have the other dogs, the omegas, the betas, circling around the beast, going to come up behind and on the sides, and they're going to bite and attack from the sides while the bison's attention is focused on the alpha. Now, this is very, very similar to what will happen inside of a home with multiple dogs. You'll have one dog who will act as the alpha, trying to keep your attention, trying to act and posture very, very aggressively, while the other dog may circle around behind, circle to the side to attack from the behind or the side. So that's just one of the aspects of dog behavior that we do have to be aware of. Is that they evolved from wolves and they are going to hunt with that pack kind of mentality. So let's talk about the different kinds of postures that these alphas and these dogs can give to you to kind of let you know what's going on and how this dog's feeling. Okay. So our first one that we're going to talk about is subordinate. Okay. We've seen this dog. It's a cute dog. That dog rolls over, it shows you their belly, their mouth is open, their whole body's moving, they're happy. Okay. You can tell that this dog is submissive, right? Dogs are submissive when they roll over and they show you their belly. Okay. Their mouths are open or they lean their head back and expose their throat. Okay. If a dog is doing that, that dog is subordinate. That dog isn't a dog that's going to bite. That dog is somebody who is happy to see you. Okay. Should we still be aware of this dog, even if they're showing belly, even if their mouth is open, even if they're displaying these kind of subordinate behaviors? Absolutely. We should be cognizant of, all these behaviors, because these behaviors can switch in an instant. So a subordinate dog can very, very quickly turn into somebody who is a submissive, aggressive dog. Maybe it's a dog who doesn't have very good eyesight. Maybe it's a dog who can't smell very well anymore. It's an older dog. It's someone who's been in an injury. Okay. So they see something walking through the gate. They don't know who it is. It could be their person. You could have a similar build or a similar look to them. And when you come in, they're submissive and they show you their belly and things. But once you get closer, they notice, oh, that's not who I thought it was. And they immediately turn to the submissive, aggressive type of dog. Okay. Submissive, aggressive type of dog. These are the little monsters that are going to bite you. Okay. These are the quickest ones to bite. Their tails down, their backs bent, their ears are back flat against their head. They have that little rapid bark. We've all heard of that. Yip, 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 yip. Yeah. We've heard it. That little rapid panic bark. Okay. These are the dogs that are going to bite you in their back when your back's turned. If you're looking right at this dog and you're displaying dominant behavior to this dog isn't going to run and attack you. Okay. You want to make sure you keep your eyes on this dog. Like I said, make sure you display that dominant behavior keep your eyes on the dog and move so your back is never turned to this dog. Always keep your eyes on it, because this one, once your back's turned, once it senses an opportunity, it's going to come at you and it's going to bite you. Okay. These are those little ankle biter dogs, right? That'll come and nip right at your ankles and bite you. All right. Then we have the dog who's confident. Okay. The dog who's confident, its head up, its ears are forward. It knows this is its yard. Okay. This is its yard. Its tail may be wagging. Its chest is forward. It'll come up. It'll greet you. It'll say hi. Okay. But if this dog is threatened, it'll defend. It'll defend its yard. It'll defend its territory. Okay. So there's a big difference between this confident dog and that submissive aggressive dog. That submissive aggressive dog is down. It's low to the ground. Its ears are back. Its eyes are big. And it's watching everything you're doing. Okay. It's staying away and it's yipping at you. Okay. This confident dog, it's coming up to you. It's being friendly, maybe. It's coming up to greet and smell and see, who are you? What are you doing here? What are you doing in my place? Are you coming to threaten my people? Okay. And if this dog, if it feels threatened, it's going to defend its territory. So this is another one we have to be aware of. And then we have our dominant aggressive dogs. These are our super aggressive and very, very dangerous dogs. These are the dogs that have a forward posture. They're leaning forward on their haunches. Okay. Their scruff is up in the back of their neck. And they're so dominant and so aggressive. They may be jumping and hitting against the fence and bouncing off the door. So you're approaching the door and they're jumping at the door, or they're jumping at the fence. These are the ones that are not going to let you in the yard. Big, loud barks, running around. They've got that dominant posture where they're posturing up and they're trying to make themselves as big and aggressive as possible. So you're not going to come in and mess with their territory. These are the very, very aggressive and dangerous animals that we want to avoid. So, dogs are more likely to be bitten, or dogs are more likely to bite when their owner is present, because they feel like they got backup, right? They feel like somebody else is there that's going to help them. And they're protecting their person. Okay. They see their person, they know they're there, and they're going to be more likely to bite you if that owner is present. Okay. If the owner lets you in the yard and you come in, they're going to think, I've got reinforcements in the back of me. I've got the owner behind me to help if something goes down, if I decide to attack this person. It's that pack mentality again, right? You got that dog acting as the alpha, and they're saying, I need my beta or my omega, my owner to help. Okay. So you're more likely to be bitten when the owner is present. Again, owners cause a lot of these problems because they come at you and they say, dog's nice, dog's not going to do anything, I'm here, I can control the dog, things like that. Okay. So make sure that we're always just hyper aware, even if the owner is there. Now, I mean, the picture might look cute, right? She's down there, she's looking at the dog right at eye level, but is it really that cute? No, I think we're about to go take a visit to the ER. I mean, this child's about to get their face ripped off. This dog is definitely displaying that submissive, aggressive posture. Wide eyes, ears pulled back, tense jaw. Okay. So this dog is about ready to attack this child. Feels threatened. All right. So when we talk about situational awareness with dogs, first assess the site. Take a look around. What do you see? Do you see a dog house? Do you see a dog with a chain? Do you see food? Do you see water? What do you see around the site? And then try and get the dogs to come out. See what kind of a dog they are. Okay. Are they that submissive, aggressive dog? Are they that confident dog? Are they the submissive dog? Or are they going to be that hyper aggressive dog? Okay. Try and get them to come out. If you know the house, know the dog, call the dog by name. But try and get the dog to come outside, come out of their house, come out from around, and see what kind of behavior you're going to have to deal with here. And then think about the area. Is that fence high enough to where if it's a dominant, aggressive dog, that they're not going to be able to charge the fence and jump that fence and get at you? Will that door hold? Okay, will that gate hold if that dog comes running up? Do you have an escape route? or if you had issues with this owner before, say you work for the water department and you're going in and going to read their water meter. Have you had issues with this owner having you come in onto their property to read their water meter? Have you had issues where you've had to shut off their water before or their electricity because they haven't paid their bills? Okay. Do you have those issues with the owner where they could set this dog on you? Okay. So being aware of your situation, being aware of what's around you is definitely going to help us as we're trying to deal with these dog bites. Now, this kind of posturing here, as you're coming up to a house with a known dog, it's a great thing. If they've got a screen door there, okay, take your foot and brace it up against that screen door, just as you see in this picture here. What that's going to do is, if a dog charges and tries to open that door and come at you, they're not going to be able to get that door open. A lot of times, these screen doors are these screen doors at the front of homes. If they have a dog, those things, as soon as the dog hits that door, it's going to fly open. Okay. Placing your foot right up against the bottom here will help so that dog isn't able to bust through and just come right at you. Now, if there's a dog fight, if two dogs are going at each other and they're fighting, even if it's one of your dogs, okay, even if it's one of your dogs that's there fighting and you're out walking your dog, then all of a sudden you get charged and another dog and your dogs are fighting with each other. Don't try to intervene. Okay. Even if your dog's in the fight, you may still get bitten by your dog because those dogs are so singularly focused on each other. Your dog protecting or the other dogs protecting each other, whatever it is. Don't try and intervene. Okay. Don't try and pull the dogs away. Don't try and grab a collar and pull the dog away. Okay. Don't intervene in this kind of a fight. One of the best ways that I found, though, when I've had situations with dogs, with my own dogs, with getting in fights, with a dog coming up and getting in my dog's face and things like that. It's a hose, garden hose. If you see a garden hose there, you can spray him down with the garden hose. Okay. A lot of times that's going to help. That's going to make the dogs back away and disengage from that fight. But don't try and intervene. Don't stick your hand in there. Don't stick a foot in there to try and pull dogs away from each other. Just don't do it. You don't want to get into that kind of fight. All right. Let's talk about some preparation things. Don't bumble into a dog, meaning know your surroundings, know what's there. That's where we're talking about situational awareness. Be aware of what's there. And could there be a dog present in this area? Always keep something between you and the dog. So the safest route is always by a wall or a fence. And read the signs and don't ever trust the owners. I know that sounds harsh, right? It's to not trust the owners when the owner tells you it's a nice dog and they'll not bite you. Always require those dogs to be controlled or restrained or locked in the house or chained up or whatever it is before you enter the yard. Okay. I've got a dog at home. He's a mini. He's not a mini. He's an Australian Labradoodle. So he's an Aussie poo, right? Dog looks crazy. He's got one white eye and one brown eye. I mean, he's a cute dog and he is the nicest dog ever. He has never bitten anyone. He's never bitten any of my kids or any of the neighbors or gone after anyone. He's the one that might lick you to death. But I've got a lawn company that comes and takes care of our lawn. Comes and sprays and does all that stuff to make the lawn look good. And the dog's in the backyard and they won't come in if the dog's in the backyard and not restrained inside of the house. And now I've told these people many times, he's nice. He's okay. He's not going to bite you. And some of them know this dog, know him. They'll play with him. They'll throw the ball for him and things like that when I'm home. Okay. But they do require the dog to be restrained in order for them to actually go inside the backyard. And so that's just one of the things that they do in that company. And I think that's a great best practice, is making sure that we don't trust the owners. I'm telling them he's a nice dog. You'll be okay. But even then, they're saying, no, I can't. We can't do that. We're not going to come in. We don't know how that dog's going to react. Has to be locked inside, and we won't come and treat your lawn until that happens. We should be the same way. So don't trust those owners and require those dogs to be actually controlled. So what if we're facing a threat? What if that dog is displaying this aggressive behavior and we need to face that threat? Okay. Your posture is important. Don't turn your back. Don't turn your back or your side, because what does that do? That exposes your back and your side. That tells this dog, this person is being submissive to me. And then I can come and attack this person. Okay. you have to display dominant posture, which means you stand up straight, you look that dog in the eye, and you always keep something in between you and the dog, whether that's a fence, whether that's your tool bag, whether that, it's something that you have that you can brush off that dog with if it tries to come to you. You have to display that dominant behavior. Make yourself big, make yourself loud, make eye contact with the dog. Okay. Use command words, loud command words. No, sit, out, away, whatever it is. Okay. You have to be big. You have to be forceful. You have to be loud. You have to make sure that this dog knows you're the boss. This dog isn't the boss. You're the boss. And you do that by again, displaying dominant traits. Dominant traits isn't turning your back. Dominant traits is making sure that you're big and you're mean and you're loud. Okay. Make sure you use commanding and slow gestures. No, sit, out, go away, out. Dogs won't understand that. Okay. But as soon as you start using big, loud words with slow gestures, no, go away. Okay. That dog is then going to start to understand that this person is displaying dominant traits and they're probably not someone to mess with. So display dominant traits if you're facing a dog threat. Okay. So like here, this person in this picture, okay. Keep your eyes on the dog and find yourself an exit route. Where can an exit route be? Don't turn your back or turn your side and try and run up the stairs. Keep your back against that wall. Keep your back against the wall and move while displaying dominant traits to this dog. Stare it down, keep your posture big, and move with your back against the wall towards the door, okay? Towards that railing to put something in between you and that dog. Your tool bag's a great thing. Have that tool bag out if you're carrying it. Make sure it's out in front of you so that that dog sees it. Now, if you're facing a threat, if that dog comes at you, start stomping your feet. I challenge you to do this if you go home tonight. When you go home tonight, if you have a dog, go in and start stomping your feet and watch what your dog does. Watch what your dog does as soon as you start stomping your feet. Okay, it's interesting. I did this to my dog over the weekend. And like I said, my dog is normally a very, very nice dog. Doesn't do anything. It wants to lick your face. As soon as I started stomping my feet, that dog started displaying very what's the word? Not aggressive behavior. Okay. Started displaying not aggressive behavior where he laid down on the ground. He laid down and rolled over. Okay. So start stomping your feet in front of your dog and see what happens. It's interesting. So if you're facing a threat, if that dog starts to come at you, stomp your feet, do something really loud and really big and give that dog something to bite. Whether that's a bite stick. So a bite stick is just like you can carry around. It's a piece of PVC pipe with a ball on the end, like a tennis ball or something that is fastened to the end of that you can then, give that dog to bite, and that dog can start and just chew and gnaw on that piece of bite stick until you're done doing what you need to do. A tool bag, putting that in front of you, or anything, whatever you've got. If there's a shovel, if there's a rake, if there's something in the area that you can grab and shove in front of that dog and have it bite that instead of you, do that. Okay. Now we've got things in here like pepper spray and hitting a dog, and lethal means if you're a law enforcement officer. A pepper spray, what we found with dogs is that you hit them once with pepper spray, that's gonna hurt them, and they're gonna back away for that time. If you come around again the next month to read their water, they're gonna remember that. They're gonna remember you had the pepper spray, and they're gonna display dominant, aggressive behavior at you. Okay, so pepper spray may not be a good thing to do. I mean, it's okay if you've got it, if you've got to use it, if that's the only thing you've got, use it. Okay. But just know that dog may remember that the next time you come around. Now, if you're going to hit the dog, okay, if the dog has bitten you, challenge you not to hit the dog on top of the head. If you hit the dog on top of the head, what's that going to do? Or hit it on the snout, what's that going to do to that dog? It's going to force that bite down farther, right? You're going to hit those teeth right back down into your arm. So if you're going to strike that dog, you want to try and kick the dog. You want to try and kick the dog in the nether regions, kick it in the belly, stomp on its feet. Stomp on that dog's toes. Smash that dog's toes into the ground. Okay, that's going to help. And then if you're a law enforcement officer and you've got lethal means, I mean, maybe that's something you've got to do, is to take that dog out if it's really becoming a threat and coming at you. So just a few things to do if you're bit. Okay, if you're bit, go for the throat. Okay, reach for that dog's throat or reach for that collar. Okay, again, don't hit the dogs on the head, or go for the feet or the legs. Sweep the leg, as was said so eloquently in Karate Kid, right? Sweep the leg, or stomp the toes. Go for the belly, kick the belly, kick the under parts if you can. Try and keep a hold of the dog. Try and keep that dog away from you and held out so that dog isn't going to bite. And lastly, of course, move to safety. Get away and get out of the way of that dog. If you are bit, make sure you wash that bite. Make sure you get to somewhere with clean running water, hopefully some soap, where you can wash that bite out. Okay, dog bites are they contain a lot of bacteria, lots of germs and stuff in the dog's mouth. Make sure you wash that bite. If that skin is broken, make sure you go and get medical attention. If there's blood, if there are puncture wounds, okay, make sure you go immediately. Go to the Instacare, go to the work med, go get medical attention immediately. Report it. Report any bites, any aggressive dog bites or behavior to your supervisor, and make sure that these get added to some kind of list. Okay, so you have a rolling, maybe you have a map or data back at the office where you can say, these are our aggressive dogs. So other folks who are going there to read water meters or treat ponds or whatever it may be, okay, they know that there's an aggressive dog on the premises here that they have to be aware of. Okay, so really, I mean, in summary, our biggest thing here is just situational awareness, being aware of what's going on around us, being aware that there could be a dog here and they could display some of these behaviors that we don't want. Make sure that you walk in a confident posture. You've got to be the dominant person here. Okay, be the dominant person in the situation. Keep eye contact with the dog, know the situation. Don't ever trust the owners. Okay, don't trust the owners. Ronald Reagan had a famous quote where he said, "Trust but verify." Right? The owner says it's nice. I don't care. I don't care what the owner says. I want to verify that this dog's nice. I want to see it. I want that dog to be locked up and controlled before I even go into the yard. Okay. I know we went through that really quick, and it's a good topic, but it's a topic that I don't know if there's any questions. If there's something that you want to ask, go ahead and ask away.
Yeah, folks, if you got questions, type those into the chat box, and we'll get Mike to answer those right now. Yeah, this is a pretty mundane subject, unless you're in it.
Yeah,
it's terrifying, and I've had a few situations myself over the years where I bumbled into a dog walking up to a door, and suddenly here's this probably the mangiest dog that I've ever seen, and it looked at me and I looked at it, and it was not a good situation. So, all right, folks, just checking here to see if we've got any questions. I had the opportunity to attend a demonstration with police dogs several years ago, and they demonstrated this technique of stomping feet, acting like you're going to stomp on the dog's feet. And a police dog that is trained to attack would just put their front legs back and roll over if you were stomping on their feet. It was just amazing to see how that technique works. And I've done the same thing that Mike has done as well around my animals, just to see how important that is. I've done that a few times around as I've gone to visit people in their homes, and the dog and the little dog comes out, and the homeowner has no idea that I'm even doing it, but I'll stomp my foot down or make some noise with my feet, and the dog knows who's boss at that point. So, all right, Mike, It looks like we got no questions today. I think you
Wow.
absolutely covered the subject. Nice job. Final words.
Yeah, don't trust owners of dogs. They don't know.
For sure.
Be safe. Yeah, be safe when it comes to these animals. Even if you've dealt with dogs a lot in the past, just be safe around them.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Mike. Appreciate the great material. Mike's going to be back here at 9 o'clock to do this same subject again. So if any of your folks missed this, they can go to utahtrust.gov and click on training and events and sign up for that one. And I'll be talking about stop work authority at 10 o'clock if you want to see that one as well. So thanks, everybody. Go out and have a safe day.
Thanks, everyone.